Are your dolls planning to entertain this holiday season? Today I show you how to turn some inexpensive beads into some pretty convincing green olives. So join me for Trash to Treasure Thursday as I show you another simple project you can make with things that you can probably find around the house or at least inexpensively at your craft store. Okay, so first let's talk about what we are making our olives out of today. And today we're using beads. This is a Trash to Treasure project after all, so that means easy, simple things to get. Now I agree if you're saying, but those aren't olive colored. I know. I didn't have time to get to the craft store, and Joann Fabrics didn't have any really what I would have called olive green colored beads in the smaller sizes. So I went with what I already had. Now these two packages I actually bought at Walmart a couple of years ago for a different project, and I know they had olive colored ones there that day, but I figured I'll show you how to do it on these, and then you can shop for beads that are more the right color. And so for the 1/12 scale for the dollhouse, these are 11/0 size, and they're really a pretty good size for that. For Barbie, I'm using these are 6/0. And they're a really good size too. And then for our American Girl size, which we're doing today also, I have pony beads. I was able to get those yesterday. They're a really good size for this. And someday when I have time, I will show you guys how to make really nice olives out of polymer clay. But this is just a Trash to Treasure project, a real quick one. And I thought it would be fun with the holidays coming. You can do some displays that are, holiday related with maybe some snack food out. Now for the pimento, for the two smaller scales, we're just using embroidery floss. And this is, you want kind of an orangey red. Let's see if I can find the color name. This is number 349. I don't know what color this is called, but it's just a red. And then for the American Girl size, we need yarn that's also a red. For the dollhouse size, I did split it into 3 strands. This comes in 6 strands, so this is 3 strands for the little ones. This is the full 6 strands for Barbie, and this is the yarn for the American Girl. Now ahead of time, what I did was I cut some lengths of, and I'll show you on another piece. I cut however much floss I thought I would need. I put out some glue, and I'm just using white glue for this. You don't want the really heavy tacky glue for this one. Put out a little pool. You don't need much when you're doing the ends, but we'll need more now. And oops, I want to wet wipe before I even touch this glue. And then what I did was I just put the ends of all of those into the glue, and I just coated it. And I actually did this last night. It needs a couple of hours to dry really hard, because what you're doing is you're basically making a built-in needle so that you can string these through your beads. Now I am going to tie a little knot at the end. Now this is the batch that's smaller, and I find for me it works better. Let's see if I can string these on camera. To string them all on, now make sure you have a wet wipe and you have your little pool of glue. We tied the knot in so that we don't go to all this work of stringing these on here and then having them fall off. Okay, I'm only going to do a couple, but you could do a whole long string. Then you're going to lay this down in the glue and really saturate this floss with glue. Then move these guys up and leave yourself room between them to cut. Let's do that again in the other scales. This is why we have a wet wipe. It might be easier to see on the bigger scales. I have a tiny bead glued to my piece. All right, a knot on the end. Some people put the glue on before they string. I find for me it's just easier to string them on when I don't have the glue all over everything, because this does get pretty messy. It's pretty sticky. It's not fun. That part's not fun. Again, just coat this floss and really drench it in the glue. Really coat it. You want gobs of glue, but not a real thick glue. And then you slide these up onto that glue. I need longer spray. And leave yourself plenty of room. You're going to trim up to the beads when they're dry. Let's see if I can get the pony beads onto this one. Yeah. And I'm just tying a knot on the end. I'm going to need more glue though. And this is just a really easy project. You could do this for any size doll. Just use the doll's hand to kind of judge how big you need your beads to be. Because you know how big an olive is in real life, so compare it to the doll hand. Yeah, we'll just do that many. Again, soak that yarn, really coat that yarn in glue. And then bring these down onto the yarn. And they need to dry. When these are dry, I'll come back, I'll show you how to cut them apart, and we'll look at our finished olives. Alright, so the glue has now dried. So now all we need to do is just come up really close, get these pulled off the tray, and then we just cut them off like that. And kind of watch, because these are going to try to fly away. When you cut these off, give them their freedom, so to speak, they are going to run away. So, but in a bowl, these look pretty darn cool. There's some dollhouse size. Let's make some let's cut some Barbie ones. And just cut them off as close as you can, because the pimento is kind of inside, but sometimes they stick out a little. And you could probably get away with just putting some beads in. If you're going to, glue them in, you could glue some beads in the bottom. And just do a few on top with the red in them. And there. Let's do these. These look really cool. That one I didn't get enough glue on. So if they aren't glued on, I'll have to add glue to this one. But there you go. There are some olives for the dolls to enjoy over the holidays. It's a super easy, super inexpensive craft, and you may even have what you need laying around. Be sure and check back next week for another Trash to Treasure project, and find us on Facebook, and be sure to check the blog post. Remember, the link to the blog is almost always in the description box of the video. So find me on Facebook, find the blog, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.